Hi, my name is Brianna. I am the team lead, and here we have Ahmed and Baruch, and here we have our robot Jerry. Jerry was using the Arduino software and hardware company to use this robot, and what they do is produce or manufacture microcontrollers so individuals like us could take on and make their own creative projects. And what Arduino uses, well, this specific robot is a robot that detects objects in front, so it avoids, collisions, and pretty much it could run by itself and not really run into any obstacles. And then we have Ahmed over here.
So some of the equipment that we used for the robot is right here in the front. This is the ultrasonic sensor. It allows the robot to detect what's in front of it so it can avoid any obstacles. Right here is the breadboard. This allows us to add a lot more connections to the robot to attach to the microchip or the microprocessor. And the microprocessor we used is the Iglo Uno. It allows, that's the brain of the robot, that's where we coded everything, and it's right in that microprocessor right there. We used the Texas Instrument Dual H Bridge, which is the micro drive. This allows to reverse and go forward. It's part of the breadboard. We also used a 9-volt battery and a 9-volt battery clip to give power to the robot, and we have some motors to allow the robot to move.
When it comes to the code, basically any Arduino open source microcontroller uses C#, and we have basically 3 parts of it. The first one is variable declaration, where we define things that we want to control in any types of robot. The second one is the setup. Setup is basically making sure that every single element in your robot is actually readable by the microprocessor, so we have to make sure that every element is defined and where it is located. That way the microcontroller knows how to control it. And the third part of a code would be the loop, where we put our conditional statement so that it controls anything. So in this case, our input device would be the ultrasonic sensor. Basically, what it does is it sends sound wave, and the other side, whenever it reaches the block, it will reach it and then goes back. That means it's measuring distance. That means there is a time, the time that took for the echo to travel across. So that will basically measure distance, so that will be transmitted to the microcontroller. Microcontroller will, based on those data, it will transmit a control instruction to the H bridge, which is controlling the 2 motor. So whenever it reaches a block, it has to turn back or see the motors right here direction. So that's all about it. So let's do the demo and then go back to pros and cons.
And we chose using this robot. We had a few projects in mind, but this one seemed more interactive.
So basically, can you hold this?
So whenever it detects something.
So whenever it detects something, it reverses the direction or moves forward, and so that's good. This is basically how it works. So it's a
Yeah, so
simple-
when you wave your hand in front of the sensor, it will just back away because it detects, something is blocking the sensor. And unlike the previous demonstration that we had with Justin and their group, they have a swivel. Ours don't have the swivel head. So that's a con. But it also still, as a pro, detects all the motion that that you leave in front of it. And then another con was also with the code. As you can see, we can only power Jerry through our laptop, so we don't have the ability to program it or for it to function without it being plugged in. So, as you can see,
the major con in this project is we tried to make the robot like individually. So we try to make from the circuit standpoint. That means we have to know what each element has to do, and it's basically a manual work. So figuring out how the circuit itself works it has been a hassle. The other issue we had, it can be a con, but the other issue with our microcontroller is a replica of Arduino Uno, which means there is significant factors that goes into play, like frequency, some noise, and there are different issues with the microcontroller itself. But it has been a good experience for us.
so what I do suggest if you do want to, use this project, to buy it as a kit together. We didn't have the tools to buy it all together, so we bought everything individually, and with that came a lot of Arduino microcontroller motherboards. So we tinkered with some of the other circuits, and we found that this was the best solution, consider the cons with it. Do we have any questions? All right. Well, thank you for your time. Oh, Indy, do you have a question?
So are the two wheels motored independently? And can you control those independently?
Basically, yeah. So the H bridge can control. This is half H bridge. That means it can control two independent motor. But at this time, sometimes you need to reverse direction. You might need to work on a single motor. So it depends on the code. Like because if you're operating both of them at the same time, you might not shift the direction. So yeah.
All right, any more questions? Well, thank you for your time.